This is lesson 3.1, angle pairs created by lines and transversals. So really briefly on the screen, because we have a lot of vocab and information in this lesson, we have parallel lines and perpendicular lines. And you guys know about these already. Parallel lines never intersect, and perpendicular lines do intersect, and specifically at a right angle. So all angles will be, so there's be four here, 4 right angles are created. Now, if we are told in a diagram that lines are parallel, then we can assume they are, or then we know they are. But if it doesn't tell us, we don't know. So for example, if I had this as line A and this is line B, the only way we could say they're parallel, which by the way is this symbol here, is if there was a tick mark telling us they're parallel, or if it was given to us as A is parallel to B. So if we're given this information like this, that means we know the lines are parallel, or if the tick marks are shown, then we know the lines are parallel. Lines that are perpendicular meet at a right angle. So if I had C and D and they show me with a right angle symbol, the little square in the corner, then I know C is perpendicular to D. Okay, so go ahead, pause the video, fill in what you believe to be true for these questions, and then check back to see how you did. Okay, so name a pair of parallel lines. You guys, the only parallel lines in this diagram are the ones that are labeled with this tick mark right here and right here. So the only ones you know are parallel are EF, and line GH. So EF and GH. And I showed that they are parallel with my parallel symbol. If you didn't put arrows over your lines, make sure you do that. Name a pair of perpendicular lines. Well, line AC is perpendicular to line BK. And then the next one, name a pair of lines that look parallel but aren't. There's actually a few different pairs, but I will say, let's see here, AC and EF. They look parallel, but we don't know if they are. And so do CG and KF, right? CG is right here and KF, these two lines, they look parallel, but do we know that? We don't know. We don't have any information that tells us they are. On this slide, we have a lot of vocabulary terms that we need to know about as we start Unit 3. The first term we're going to talk about is transversal. Sorry about that. A transversal is a line that intersects 2 or more other lines at different points. So as you can see, we have 2 lines right here. They look parallel. We don't know if they are. Remember that. And we have a line that's intersecting both of them. So it intersects this line here and it intersects this line here. So we call that a transversal. Now, something else we're going to have to understand when we look at some of these terms below is that there is also something called the interior and the exterior of this diagram. And that's based on the 2 lines that are being intersected by that transversal. If you think about these 2 lines, that there is a space that is between them, we would call that the interior. So I'm going to kind of shade that in here. This is the interior of those lines because it's inside them. And then we've got the exterior, and the exterior is both on this side of that line and on this side of the other line. So that is the interior and the exterior. Okay. The exterior is here as well as over here, and the interior is there. Okay, and we're going to need that as we talk about some angle pairs below. So we have a bunch of different angle pairs that we need to understand where they are located when 2 lines are crossed by a transversal. So here is our first type of angle. They're called corresponding angles. If you think about corresponding, like 2 things that correspond, they kind of go together. That's what corresponding angles mean. So if I was looking at where this line and this transversal intersect right here, we see that there are 4 angles formed at that point right there. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if I chose any of them and decided to call it, let's say, angle 1, right there. I can find an angle down here in this set of 4 angles created with this line in that same transversal. I can see that there's 1, 2, 3, 4 angles created down there as well. Well, there's one angle that is corresponding to angle 1, and that is the angle that's in the same location as this angle in reference to the line and the transversal. So what I mean by that is this angle 1 is above the line, right? It's above it, and it's to the left of the transversal. So down here, which angle is above this line and to the left of the transversal? Well, it's this angle right here. So those two angles are what we call corresponding. Angle 1 and angle 2 are corresponding. They're in the same location in that set of 4 angles. So if you think about this angle right here, what corresponds with that angle? Well, I hope you said this one, because they're both above their line and to the right of the transversal. How about this angle right here? What corresponds with that angle? Well, I hope you're picturing this one. Again, they're both below the line and to the left of the transversal. So corresponding angles are in the same location. Alternate interior angles is our next term. So interior, that's why we had to talk about this here, right? Interior. So we know these angles are going to both, the angle pair, the two angles are going to both be in the interior of these two lines. So it's going to be in here, okay? Alternate means different. So if I said we have an alternate schedule today, that's a different schedule. So alternate means we have them on alternate or different sides of the transversal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to label another angle here. I'm going to label it 3. So I'm going to label an angle in the interior of this picture. Let's go right here. That angle right there is right in this set of angles. It's right here. So what is its corresponding, or not its corresponding, sorry. It's the angle that it goes with for an alternate interior angle pair. Well, we need another angle that's in the interior of these two lines, and that's on alternate or different sides of the transversal. So the only angles that are on a different side of this transversal that are in the interior are either this angle here or this angle here. Well, you guys, this angle is not alternate interior angles because when we talk about these pairs of angles, they have to be one from this set or clump of angles right here and one from this set or clump of angles here. We know this angle 3 and this angle here are a linear pair, so they already have a name. So what we're looking at here is we're looking at this angle right here, angle 4. Let's try to draw that a little neater. There we go. So those two angles are alternate interior angles. They're both in the interior between the two lines, and they're on different sides of the transversal, which makes them alternate, right? And they're in different clumps of angles. So this set of 4 angles here and this set of 4 angles here. So here we are. There is one other set of alternate interior angles in this picture, and it's this angle here with this angle down here. So they're both on the interior and they're on different sides of the transversal. Now we have alternate exterior angles. Well, that's a lot like what we just talked about, except for this time, they're on the exterior. So if I were just to name an angle, any angle, angle 5, let's call it, sorry, not any angle, an angle in the exterior, let's call it that one right there. So angle 5 is right here. Okay, so an alternate exterior angle means, again, we need it to be on the exterior and in the other set of angles, so down here, it has to be on the exterior and it has to be on different sides of the transversal. So if this 5 is on the right side of the transversal, we need this angle here, which is on the other side of the transversal, to be what we label 6. Okay, so these are alternate exterior angles, 5 and 6, because they're on different sides of the transversal and they're on the exterior. Lastly, we have same side interior angles. Sometimes these are called consecutive interior angles as well. If you think about alternate being different sides of the transversal, Same side means they're on the same side of the transversal. And again, we need to be in the interior. So if I have to be on the interior, let's label this right here with a 7. So where would a same side interior angle pair be with 7? Well, it'd have to be on the same side of the transversal and in the interior. So that would be this angle right there. So angle 7 and angle 8 are same side interior angles. They're on the same side of the transversal, both in the interior where that green was, right? So 7 and 8. Okay, so we need to practice knowing where these angles are. So here is a diagram for us. It looks a little different. We've got our two lines kind of going a different direction this time and a transversal cutting through. I've labeled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. They are in different places than the previous diagram. What we're trying to do is list all of the different types of angle pairs that we have in this picture. So corresponding angles. Well, let's start with at any angle really we want to with corresponding angles. All angles have a corresponding angle pair because they don't have to be on the interior or the exterior. So if I started with angle 5, for example, right here, what angle is corresponding to angle 5? Again, we need an angle that is in the other set of 4 angles, so not here, but over here, and it needs to be in the same location as 5, which is above the transversal to the left of the line. So hopefully you are picturing angle 7. So we can write angle 5 and angle 7 are a corresponding angle pair. There are a bunch of other ones, right? And it does say to list all of them. What I'm going to do is run through one example for each of these and then have you pause the video and fill in the rest. So angle 5 and angle 7 is one set of corresponding angles. There's 5 and 7. All right, now alternate interior angles. Well, we need to pick an angle on the interior. So what if I picked 3, right? What angle is an alternate interior angle with angle 3? Hopefully you are picturing 6. They're on different sides of the transversal, right? Different sides of the transversal and both in the interior between the two lines. So 3 and 6. Angle 3 and angle 6. Then alternate exterior angles. Well, alternate exterior, let's see here. Let's pick 8 is on the exterior, right? Oh, I'm going to pick a different color here. 8 is in the exterior. And what is an alternate exterior angle? Well, again, different sides of the transversal on the outside. So it needs to be over here, angle 1. So angle 1 and angle 8 are an alternate exterior angle pair. And then we need same side interior angles. Well, I'm going to use 2 since I haven't used 2 yet, but notice I'm going to, oops, sorry. Hold on one second. Angle 2. Well, angle 2 is an alternate, I'm sorry, same side interior angle with angle 3, right? So angle 2 and angle 3. And that's because they are both in the interior, right? In the interior, 2 and 3, and they're on the same side of the transversal, 2 and 3. Okay, so since we haven't used angle 4 yet, let's use angle 4. And what angle is a vertical angle with angle 4? Well, hopefully you said angle 7. So angle 4 and angle 7 are a set of vertical angles, and we have put 1 in for each of these. So go ahead and pause the video, see if you can fill in the rest of the angles for corresponding alternate interior, alternate exterior, same side interior, and vertical angles. Okay, so take a minute and look at these 4 diagrams. And if you want to pause the video and figure out, they are all the same type of angle pair. See if you can figure out what type of angle pair they are. Well, hopefully you decided they were all corresponding angle pairs. So 1 and 5 are in the same location. 2 and 6 are in the same location. So are 4 and 8 and 3 and 7. They're both in the same position based on that set of 4 angles in each intersection. Now, But on this sheet, the 4 examples are not all the same. And I'd like you to pause the video, write down your answer for the angle pair relationship, and then check back to see how you did. Okay, so the first 2 were some of our older angle pairs we've had, and the other 2 were new, alternate exterior and alternate interior. We'll practice in class and online.